Have you tried out the bus system in your city since you've been using a wheelchair? And I'm asking that because, you know, I've used the bus system. When I first moved to the city, I used the bus system. I didn't have a car. And then later on, I learned to drive, but then later on, I started using a wheelchair. And because of treatments and stuff, I was asked not to drive. So now I'm kind of open to driving. I've been much better. So we'll see. However, I did teach myself the bus system here in the city. I had to reteach myself because the bus system in so many years had changed. So all buses in my city, in my county, are accessible. So no buses pass me up, none of them. So they all pick me up, and they all have a ramp for me to drive in, and they all have a system where they can lock me in as a wheelchair user inside the bus. So I'm asking you if you have tried that, and if you have just sat at home until some miracle happens or somebody has to, call for a special van for you to go somewhere or anywhere. So I want to make this invitation to all of you to consider it, because all bus lines have, my hair is a little goofy today. All bus lines have brochures and like this one, and all bus lines have brochure for that particular bus line. And so you can pick those up at a pharmacy. You can pick those up at your local grocery store. You can ask about the buses in the city at your pharmacy or at your local grocery store. Hopefully a big chain of grocery stores like Safeway or Pick and Save, or, they'll have some kind of information. Sometimes at those grocery stores, you can also purchase tickets or a card in which my bus line has gone, or buses in my county has gone through a big transformation. We had to buy individual tickets, for the day, or we had to get tickets for, it was all about tickets. You purchase a ticket for the day, so it was, just we had to purchase all the time. So now it's gone to an app. You can either have the app and load some money on the app and use the app. You scan your phone on the bus, or you can get a card and load money on the card and then scan that when you get in the bus. So we've gone pretty far. And I think at some point it's all going to be transferred to the phone, to apps. But I use my app on my phone, and I just open it and scan it when I get on the bus. Once I get on the bus, they lock me down, they strap me down, so it's safe. So I want to make that invitation for you to be curious, at least. And the next time you go to your pharmacy or to your grocery store, that you ask about the county bus system and see what it looks like. If you got stranded or whatever, you wanted to go some particular place, for you to practice at least getting on a bus and going somewhere. Sometimes if you live in a rural area, you don't have that advantage, but in the cities, we have quite a few bus systems and quite a few lines. So I use one line, just go up and down. I go down to a large grocery store, and there's a little commercial center there, so I can get my hair cut. I can do groceries around the corner. I can get some yummy ice cream across the street. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So where they drop me off is very convenient, and I can spend a couple hours, doing something that I want to do. And so the bus drivers know me by now. So it's nice that way. One of them knows me by name, I think, already. So, and there are discounts for using county buses. I haven't requested it because I haven't needed it. It's already cheap enough. I also use the county vans, when I have to go somewhere specific at a specific time, and I need to be there on time. I use the vans. So the vans is called Transit Plus, and for that we need to buy tickets. So we haven't transferred over to an app yet, but I buy the booklet of tickets, of 10 tickets, and then I'm free to use it whenever I need it, mostly for medical appointments, but sometimes, I use it for other activities. When I need to go somewhere, I can do that. So if you've gotten this far in the video, feel free to give me a like and subscribe if you want notifications of upcoming videos. And I am so glad you found us and that you are just listening to my information, because I give resources and ideas and recommendations and all kinds of things. So from A to Z about wheelchairs. So take care. So, I really encourage wheelchair users to look at their transit systems in their county, whether it's the train system, whether it might be the bus system, maybe both. I knew New York City has a train and bus system. Oregon, I think, has a train bus system. So all of these cities have a lot more than my city has. So we have trains, but they're mainly for transport of cargo. They're not for passengers. We have the Amtrak that goes through our city, but that's for, longer distances. And I've never taken the Amtrak with my wheelchair. Maybe someday I need to go to Chicago. Just hop on it, go to Chicago and come back. Even Amtrak is accessible. So for you, do some research. In other countries, I understand it's a little bit more difficult, and you might have to contract with a accessible van. Even in third world countries, they're catching on. The wheelchair users need transportation, and they're taking vans and converting them into accessible vans. So that is really something I would want to encourage any town in a third world country to do. And they're willing to pay, for the transportation. So this is important. This is important to talk about accessibility and to really encourage, the people in your county or in your rural area to have accessible vans or buses. But I want to encourage you, I really do, to explore that so that you have an alternative for transportation. Some of you already have a van, you have drivers and all that kind of stuff. We have a van here, but we don't always have drivers. And sometimes I want to go somewhere and it's like I can't because the driver's not here. But anyway, I'm also looking into possibly, maybe getting back into driving. So I have to explore that and see what the alternatives are. So anyway, that's my invitation for this video. Take a look at your county transportation plans and see if one of those works for you. So take care, and I hope to see you in the next one.